Hey, do you guys remember Bendy and the Ink Machine? That indie horror game from 2017 based on old black and white cartoons from the 20s? You know, like the old 20s, not the current 20s. Wow. Yeah, Bendy. This game was a huge deal on YouTube like 5 or 6 years ago. I remember it being one of the first big kind of FNAF competitors, and it was only gonna get bigger with a sequel quickly entering development after the game wrapped up its final chapter. And then 3 years went by, we heard basically nothing, and everyone kind of assumed the game was quietly canceled. But then, right as I decided to make this video, boom, trailer drops and Bendy and the Dark Revival gets announced to be coming out this month. In fact, by the time you're watching this video, it's already out. So that's all well and good. Apparently I can predict the future of indie games, but we're not talking about the sequel today. Before we can dive into the Dark Revival, first we gotta explore the original. So strap in, these are Foafy's adventures in Bendy and the Ink Machine. Chapter 1. Moving pictures. The game begins, and I am Henry Stein, an ex-employee of the old-timey animation studio Joey Drew Studios. And years after things at the studio went south, I receive word from Mr. Joey Drew himself to come by the place. I swing the door open, and I am greeted with the most excessive amount of orange I've ever seen. Jesus Christ. More importantly, the place is a wreck. Everything's totally falling apart, doors are boarded up, and some rapscallion's been going around writing cryptic messages on the walls. This is probably good, actually. Not much else to do right now, but just explore the place. So I wander aimlessly for a minute until I find... well, that's just not safe. This is the Ink Machine. It's big, it's ominously hanging by a chain, and it kind of looks like an elephant. And then the game's like, turn it on! And I'm like, why? Not really sure what that's gonna accomplish, but I guess it'd be a short game if I didn't, so whatever. Oh. You think you can scare one so easily? I see. But shocker, the rickety old ink machine isn't working. Turns out the machine won't work until I prepare its shrine. You know, those very normal shrines you build around power switches to large pieces of machinery? Well, I place all the various offerings onto their corresponding pressure pads. Normal. Flip on the ink machine, turn a nearby valve, and... yep, you know, this is exactly what I thought would happen. Place is already falling apart. What was the point of this? It was always only going to make a mess. But all that was just to get the ink flowing again. Now we can turn on the actual ink machine. So I head back to the machine room, which has been boarded up, apparently. That's weird. Oh! Ah! Yes, I've heard this song before. I run away from the drippy beast that scared me, only for the floor of the studio to collapse right as I reach the door. Apparently this studio goes underground, where I find more spooky orange, coffins, pentagrams, and nightmarish visions that cause me to pass out onto the floor. This is going well. Chapter 2, the old song. Once I wake up from my little nap, I grab a nearby weapon and start trying to find a new exit. And dude, this place is huge. I mean, how much space do you... hello? Okay. Bye. Eventually, I end up in the music department with nowhere else to go. Sorry, didn't mean to intrude. Yeah, there's ink monsters now. Let me tell you, whatever this ink is, it's not just ink. It seems to be some kind of living mass with the ability to both create and corrupt other living things. I mean, how else would you explain a suspiciously abandoned animation studio crawling with both humanoid creatures and living cartoon monsters? Indie horror games are never particularly straightforward with their lore, but it seems pretty clear to me that these ink monsters I'm fighting are probably old employees who were corrupted by the ink. Oh, that reminds me, the game's got combat now. You know, combat might be a strong word. You run around swinging a blunt object, and that's kinda it. It's really clunky. I get horror games can't make you super powerful, but But anyway, I bash a few ink monsters, solve a couple puzzles, and finally manage to drain some ink blocking my path. But none of that really matters because some jerk in a Bendy mask sneaks up behind me and knocks me out. And his name is Sammy Lawrence. He used to be the director of the music department, but now he's, He captures me and starts going on some insane ramble about the Ink Demon, that Bendy monster that yelled at me in Chapter 1, who Sammy here seems to fear and worship like a god. And I just happen to be the sacrifice. So I got that going for me. But luckily, the Ink Demon just absolutely mauls Sammy. Yeah, lucky for me, that is. Not so lucky for him. But with Sammy out of the way, that means Bendy's coming for me next. You know what's funny? I never realized this game doesn't actually jump scare you when you die. I start sprinting down the halls, Bendy pops up, and if he catches me, I'm not jump scared like in FNAF. The screen just goes dark and I hear a dumb Roblox oof sound. I know people think jump scares are cheap, but without them, a lot of the tension actually gets lost. Well, anyway, I managed to outrun the ink demon only to be confronted by another mysterious creature. I see a can of soup ominously roll across the floor, and around the corner appears... Friend. Chapter 3, Rise and Fall. So I'm hanging out with my new best friend, another living cartoon named Boris, and we start delving deeper into Joey Drew Studios. Well, first, Boris forces me to make him soup, 3 whole cans of soup that he then does not eat, rude, and then we explore more of the studio. Blah blah blah, orange hallways, whatever. Eventually, Boris and I split up and I find myself in this dark, creepy hallway surrounded by posters and plushies of a character named Alice Angel. I wonder if we might be meeting a new character soon. There we go. This is Alice Angel, and for the rest of the chapter, she's in charge. Boris and I take an elevator deeper down into the studio, pass through this big Alice door, and find... Ooh. Boris? You good? Yes? No? Boris? If you're okay with being confronted by a room full of duplicates of yourself, mutilated and tied to operating tables, do nothing. Alright, cool, I'm gonna press on then. So here's what's been happening. Alice here used to be a voice actor named Susie Campbell who worked at Joey Drew Studios. She loved the character of Alice Angel, like she was obsessed, but was eventually replaced with a new actress and she got real upset. Once the studio got all ink crazy, it seems she became corrupted and turned into this twisted version of the character she voiced. And since then, she's been experimenting on a bunch of the various ink creatures throughout the studio to extract ink from them to keep herself beautiful, which explains the Sea of Dead Boris we saw earlier. But instead of attacking, Alice says she'll help me escape the studio if I do a few things for her first. And for real, the rest of this chapter is just a series of chores for Alice Angel. I run around collecting gears, get ink samples from monsters using a giant syringe, collect a few valves, slice up a bunch of Bendy cutouts, fight off more ink monsters, and collect 5 ink hearts, all while making sure to avoid big drippy Bendy over here. Gonna be honest, this whole part of the game is kind of a slog. Yeah, it adds more gameplay, but story-wise, absolutely nothing is happening here. But finally, Alice runs out of junk to make me do and tells me I can leave. I hop back into the elevator and start heading back up, only for Alice to somehow override the thing and send me and Boris, who's here again, by the way, I guess he got over his existential crisis, crashing down to the deepest depths of the studio. The elevator crashes, I pass out, and as Boris tries to wake me up, he gets kidnapped by Alice. Oh no! Chapter 4, Colossal Wonders. Things are not going well. I'm surrounded by monsters, my only friend's been kidnapped, and the studio is only getting more deranged the deeper I go. More and more writing on the walls, some shrines to Bendy surrounded by ink creatures, random visions of grabby hands, and... But that's okay, because in this chapter, we're heading to the carnival! That's right, not only does this animation studio go 30 levels underground, but there's apparently enough space to house an entire abandoned carnival. And you know what that means? Clunky mini games. Throw the ball, swing the hammer, shoot the targets. Shoot the targets. Shoot the... Hold on. There we go, shoot the targets. And the more minigames I play, the more areas of this warehouse I unlock. And eventually, I find this huge abandoned carousel ride, and a voice message starts to play from the guy who built this park, Bertram Piedmont.
You may think I'm gone, but I'm still here.
So, Bertram's the carousel. That's him. This is his face in the ride. Cool. And of course, that means it's boss fight time. But as intimidating as this looks, it's actually really easy. I snag a convenient axe off the ground, wait for Bertram to stop his spinny tantrums, and then just hack away at his arms until they're all busted. And then I leave. A few flipped switches later, and I gain access to a haunted house attraction. I hop into the ride's cart because... that was the only thing I could do, and I set off on, honestly, the worst haunted mansion ride I've ever seen. All leading to... Ooh. Well, I guess I found Boris. That's a bummer. So, Alice Angel kidnapped Boris, experimented on him, and turned him into this blobby monster you see here, Brute Boris, who throws me across the room to kickstart another boss fight. And this is where the entire game goes downhill. The point of this fight is to avoid Boris's attacks, let him tire himself out, steal some of his ink, and then use this nearby machine to turn that ink blob into a weapon. The fight has 3 phases, and you gotta go through this clunky process every single time. It sounds simple, but is so frustrating. Partially because Boris absolutely cheats. I swear to God there's no way to avoid these jump attacks. But also, I didn't mention this, but I'm playing this on console, not PC, and this fight just straight up does not work with a controller. My first time around, this took hours to beat. But I finally beat Boris, and the game's like, oh no, you killed your friend. Don't you feel sad and awful? But I'm like, is the game over yet? And the answer is not yet. Because in a fit of rage, Alice Angel barges into the room and tries to attack me, only to be stabbed through the chest by Alice Angel and Boris. Yeah. Chapter 5, The Last Reel. Now, up to this point, I've been enjoying this game. It's not amazing, but it's cool. But after that awful Boris fight, I'm sorry to say, the game is just kinda never good again. Chapter 5 is brutal, man. I wake up in a makeshift jail cell. I wake up captured by this other Alice and Boris, trapped in like a makeshift jail cell. This new Boris is named Tom, he has a robot arm, and he doesn't like me. And this new Alice is actually nice, and I think is supposed to be the voice actor who replaced the original Alice, Susie Campbell. Nice Alice is like, here, have this visor that exposes secret invisible messages written on the walls that definitely won't be used in subsequent playthroughs to make up for the lack of lore presented in the actual game. Oh no, the ink demon's here, bye-bye. Yeah, a Bendy finds our little hideout and these guys just bail, leaving me behind. I bust my way out of the cell, push forward, and eventually find a boat. This part sucks. You gotta pilot this rickety boat through a river of ink, but of course, there's some kind of giant bendy monster inside the ink ready to kill at any moment. Stay still too long, and you're done. But the boat gets ink stuck in its, what is that called? Spinny paddle thing? Acoustic motor? Whatever. Ink gets stuck in there, and you gotta knock it out to keep going. It is so slow, like torturously slow. And if you fail, you gotta start all the way back at the beginning. I hate it. And things don't get much better after I reach land, and boom, Sammy Lawrence just stumbles back into the game and starts swinging at me. You remember him? The guy who got like eaten by Bendy in like chapter 2? Yeah, he's back now. I fight back, and by fight back, I mean run in circles for a while. Wonderful combat system. But Sammy eventually overpowers me, throws me to the ground, and nearly kills me, only for Alice and Tom to once again sneak up behind and kill him before he can get me. Is that like your thing? But what follows, I think, is the worst part of the entire game. Worse than Brute Boris, worse than the boat, the absolute low point of Bendy and the Ink Machine. After shoving an axe into Sammy's neck, Alice, Tom, and I are ambushed by hordes of ink creatures. And this fight went on forever. I just kept dying, respawning, fighting, dying, respawning, fighting, The fight just wouldn't stop. What was I doing wrong? Well, I looked it up, and apparently what I'm supposed to do here is get more kills than Tom and Alice in a row without dying. How on earth would I have ever gotten that? The game doesn't give me any indication that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I can't tell how many kills they're getting while they're running all over the place. I have no clue how many kills I'm getting because all these enemies just blob together. And why would I even be competing with these guys in the first place? They've saved my life twice now. Ugh. Whatever. I straight up just lucked my way into beating this bit. Tom, Alice, and I join forces, push forward, and whoops! Of course. I fall through the floor again, lose my weapon and my team just to wind up in... great. A maze. Yeah, sorry, this chapter was really trying my patience. So here's where we are. There's a room full of ink next to this fancy piping system that's missing a few parts. Run through the maze, grab some blobs of ink, and use those same dang machines from the Boris fight to make pieces of pipe, drain the ink, and enter the film vault. Oh, and there's Tom and Alice showing up after I do all the hard work. Same as usual. I like this game, I promise. But this is it. After a few more hallways, I enter the ink machine itself and reach the final showdown with the ink demon. And I call it a showdown because this really isn't a fight. I just run around this big arena and flip switches to open a nearby door, all while avoiding Bendy as he just kinda runs around. Look at him go! That's my boy. And once I make it out of the first arena, it becomes one of those classic get the enemy to charge into something fights. Basically, I just trick Bendy into destroying his own ink machine and then bolt back to where the fight started. And after all this chaos, the thing that finally puts Bendy to rest is symbolism. I play an unaired reel of film called The End. It makes Bendy go, ah! And then, whoa. I forgot colors that weren't orange existed. So the ending of this game's kinda confusing. Suddenly, I'm in Joey Drew's house, and he gives me this spiel about, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. But then he's like,
come visit the old workshop. There's something I need to show you.
Swing the door open, and...
All right, Joey, I'm here. Let's see if we can find what you wanted me to see.
So the end of this game is a time loop. Hooray! How satisfying. Apparently, if you play through the game again, you get to see all those secret messages, and I'm sure they're very interesting and full of lore, but no, I'm done. This game really wiped me out by the end, so I'm just gonna call it here and take a nice, long break from Bendy. Alright. I'm gonna play a little bit of Boris in the Dark Survival. It's Boris time! Did you guys know that there was a Boris game? I completely forgot that this was a thing. But I figured since the Bendy in the Dark Revival video is coming a little bit late, we could do a little bit of a placeholder, something to tide you over. So, we're gonna play Boris in the Dark Survival Symphony of the Shadows. I have no idea what this game is. I have genuinely no clue what this game is. It's a few years old, but I didn't really pay attention to it at the time, so I have no idea. I have no idea what this game is. Once there was a wolf. That is a door. Living in a very dangerous world, surviving on anything he could find, and fearing the ink demon that stalked his every move. It's scary because you can't see all of it. It's Boris! We're Boris. We are in a room. Everything's orange again. Let's see. A. Ooh, find more tunes in the studio. Oh, we got a jukebox. That's cool. Oh, look at him dance! Look at him cutting a rug! Look at him go! Look at Boris go! Oh, he's so good. I love him. Oh, I'm plucking the banjo. Let's go! Okay. Oh, I recognize this now. I'm so stupid. This is the room you first hang out with Boris in Bendy and the ink machine. I didn't recognize it from this angle. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Because this is the stove where you make him the 3 cans of soup that he doesn't eat. 0 of 7. 0 of 7 what's? So, it's some kind of top-down, isometric Boris game. I assume there will be spooks and scares at some point. What's this? Oh, I got coffee. Oh, it's a coffee machine. Okay. Is this game, like, considered canon? Like, is this still considered canon now that Bendy and the Dark Revival is out, or no? Because I want to know how much of this I need to be taking in as I play it, and whether or not I need to do a full playthrough at some point in the future for the probably inevitable Bendy and the Ink Machine recap thing. 0 of 6. Oh, man, that's at least 13 things I have to collect. Oh, man. Oh, we're up to... 13 plus 5. 18. That's 18 things I need to collect. Oh, dang. So far, so nothing. Oh, hello.
This is just so thrilling for me.
Standing in the corner by myself. Ooh, one of these.
I guess if someone wants to learn my steps, they'll just have to get their hands a little dirty.
They'll have to stick their hands in the poopy. I guess the only thing left to do is to take this elevator into the studio. Let's see what's going on here. How spooky can we get? Day 1, level 34. Okay, so what's the point of this game? What actually do I do in this game? Locate the needed supplies. Okay. Oh, here's one. We got a cog. So it looks like we need a radio, a wrench, a cog, which we've already got, a book, a plunger, and another cog. What's this? Okay, we got the wrench. We're making progress. Oh dear. What? Huh? What did I do? New safe house tape found. So I scavenged the corpse of another Boris and got a thing? That was really random. I have no idea what that was supposed to be. So we've already got 2 of our... Count, foafy, count. 6 supplies that we need, and so far, not a spook to be seen. Another cog, perfect. We got a lot of hiding spots, though. Something's bound to happen eventually. Oh, we got mini games, gamer. We got mini games. Safe house scrap, so we found garbage. Cool. Radio, good for tunes. Oh, spook 'em. That's not right. Aww. Oh! Ooh! Oh, they actually do jump scares in this one. Okay, I didn't see that coming. Oh, I'm back here. Oh, come on. All right, gotta do it again. So that was one of the things that I mentioned in Bendy and the Ink Machine. It's like, it's weird when the ink demon shows up or when any monsters get you, you don't actually get jump scared at all. Oh, is this procedurally generated or something? Like, this is different. I guess this is somewhat procedurally generated or at least randomized because this is a completely different layout. And we got different things to collect too. Oh, so this is like a Binding of Isaac kind of thing. Yep. Ooh. Did I do it this time? Ooh. There's Bendy. There's the boy. Okay, bye. We just gotta get 2 wrenches, and then I guess we gotta get back to where we started. Oh, he's just out. Oh, he's just out. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's bad for me. I didn't realize he was just out. Oh, yep, he's just out. So you have to avoid him the entire time. So this works a lot differently than the actual Bendy game. And I guess maybe the, like, stinger sound effect only gets if he catches you. Okay, cool. Oh, there's no hiding spots here. Oh, no. Oh, no. Am I able to, like, avoid him or what? Dang it. How was I supposed to avoid that? There was no hiding spots, and then he was just there. What was I supposed to do? All right, we're going again. Oh yeah, we're going to different levels each time. That explains it. Okay, what do we got this time? Bone, plunger, spoon, radio, and book. I know I shouldn't like waste my run juice, my soup run, because I'll need it if I get spotted, but this is kind of a slow walking speed. I kind of don't like how slow this is. Book, all right, we're halfway there. Radio, good. Okay, good. Oh. Hi. Bye. Hide. Okay, he's gone that way. So I know not to go to the left. Mind your surroundings. Cool, good, stupid. It's like trying to sneak around the like hall monitors in those old Harry Potter games. Am I good to go up here now? Nope. This seems to be the majority of the game so far. Thinking you're safe, not being able to see where he is, and him like laser guiding himself to you. I keep trying to go up, but every single time I try to go up, I get spotted. So it's just been completely fruitless. Plunger, good. Not good, not good. Every time. He's always right where I need to be. Come on. Why would you do that? This is not particularly fun. I'm just gonna be honest. My experiences so far are not particularly that of having fun. I know exactly what I need to do and exactly where I need to go, but the AI on this stupid ink demon keeps going exactly there. He's taking no other course of action. Thank you. He's going somewhere else. God, I might actually have a chance this time. Watch him just teleport. Watch him just be here still. Okay, got the plunger. Now we just need a bone. Where is a bone? Good. Come on, how? Guys, I think this game might suck. I'm sorry to say it. I think this game might suck, but I have to get one successful round before I stop playing, right? I have to succeed one time. Gonna be 100% honest. Losing interest in this game relatively quickly. Grab spoon, good. Got spoon. Okay. The game's cutting me a bit of a break this time. Pretty much all the necessary pieces were right where I was heading naturally, and there's a hiding spot here. Tum-ty-tum-ty-tum-ty-tum-ty-tum, tom-tom-tom-tom-tom-tom-tom-tom-tom-tom. All right, I just need a book. Please be a book here relatively soon, and I can just get... Yes, okay, good. Do we have... No, we don't. We don't. He's gonna get me here. He's absolutely 100% gonna get me right now. Yeah, I don't like this one. All right. Cog. All right, we're starting off strong. With cog. Thank you. All right, we already got 2. Okay. Actually, we already got 3. We already got 3 of our 6 necessary things. That's not bad. Hi. Yeah, sir. Come on. Don't screw me over, game. Do not screw... You know what? I'm deeming this game non-canon and therefore unnecessary for me to continue playing. Goodbye. Quick! We gotta play the new Bendy before people stop caring! Okay, so a few weeks back, I played through the original Bendy and the Ink Machine, that horror game from 2017 about the littlest man. And it just so happens that right when I started making that video, a sequel that everyone thought was canceled dropped out of nowhere. It's been like a month since then, so I only have a few hours left to make a video about it before it becomes irrelevant forever. These are Foafy's adventures in Bendy and the Dark Revival. No time to waste, let's go! So, real quick, in the last game, I played as this guy named Henry Stein returning to his old place of work, Joey Drew Studios. The old-timey animation studio famous for the characters Bendy, Alice Angel, and Boris Wolf, among others. But the place was abandoned, run down, and crawling with monsters born from this unearthly ink junk. I then ran around, got scared by a Bendy monster, solved puzzles, whacked a bunch of people, fought bosses, definitely didn't get frustrated at any point ever. This part sucks. And in the end, I saved the day by making Bendy confront their own mortality, which caused the heat death of the universe. Except not, because the game then just started over. And then I stopped. Now I'll play the sequel. So hey, it's the 70s! Sorry, couldn't resist. And we are an animator at Archgate Studios named Audrey. Apparently this place acquired all of the Joey Drew stuff after he passed away. Oh, right, Joey Drew, the man who created Bendy, he's dead now. He will be missed. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the important thing is that Bendy and the studio are owned by Archgate now. The studio itself has been renovated and expanded with the help of something called the Gent Corporation. We're working really late, and we just gotta have our coffee. So we hop up from our desk and start our adventure. And wow, this game looks amazing. I mean, it's no graphical powerhouse or anything, but compared to the original, the improvements here are wild. Though, I do kind of miss all the orange. Yeah, well. I should also say the game runs really well. Even at max graphics settings, the game is super smooth. Though, for some reason, that smoothness didn't really translate in my footage. Most of the raw footage from my playthrough wound up looking like this. That's fun. So, a big shout out to my friend Rayburn, who has a much more powerful graphics card than I do, and helped capture some extra gameplay footage so that this video wouldn't give you a headache. Thank you! But anyway, getting back to the game here. I wander around the spooky studio for a while, reach an elevator, and start to head, somewhere. I can't actually tell if this is going up or down from— oh man! So, this is Wilson. He's the bad guy. Like, for real, his only character trait is being the villain in this game. And I mean, not to judge someone by their appearance, but look at this guy. Listen to his voice.
Audrey, are you familiar with the Five Nights at Freddy's timeline?
Yeah, Wilson is villain. And now I'm stuck in an elevator with him. And then the power goes out. Good. We eventually wind up in a place that, just gonna take a wild guess here, is not where I was trying to go. Wait a minute. There's no coffee here. It's just a demonic shrine. Ugh. Again. Yeah, so, this bit's pretty familiar. There's a room of 6 pedestals surrounding the ink machine, which I think shrunk in the wash since the last game, and I gotta go find the various pieces of junk to put on the pedestals while Wilson fiddles with the electricity. But uh-oh, surprise, surprise, Wilson tricked us. No, you're kidding. Didn't you hear his voice? By putting all the stuff on the pedestals, we activate the ink machine, which starts flooding the room. Wilson then grabs us, rambles about showing us the truth real slowly. He plunges us both into the ink, and boom. Bendy and the Dark Revival. I wake up later and the orange is back. Oh, and I guess Audrey's an ink monster now. That sucks. And with that, the game really starts. We're back in the bowels of the studio with no choice but to push forward, seeing just how much the Gen Corporation is industrialized this place in the process. But the deja vu just keeps deja vuing. That's a joke, right? As I stumble into one of the more recognizable locations from the first game, the Heavenly Toys room. Famous for being the room where I hid from big drippy Bendy that one time. It feels like it was only last month. Yay! Alice Angel is back! Remember when she stopped an evil version of herself from killing me in the last game, tagged along for a little while, and then the game just kinda forgot about her? Yeah, now she's back, and she's kinda giving us your basic post-apocalypse speech. You know the one. Yeah, I remember my first day here too. Here's an itemized list of all the different types of enemies you're gonna come across and all the catchy little nicknames we give them. Am I being vague enough to be ominous, yet detailed enough to be helpful? Okay, cool. Bye! Alright then. The only thing Alice really told me to do here was to just head to the upper levels of the studio, so I guess that's what we're doing. And I gotta say, this game is really cranking up the scare factor. Oh. turn around. All right. Oh, okay, that's where I'm supposed to go. That was clever. There's more jump scares, spookier atmosphere, and a lot more tension. Because now there's stealth. No more just bashing people in the head with a pipe. Now you gotta sneak around without being spotted, and then bash their head in with a pipe.
I love blunt force trauma.
But it's not all pipes and collapsing skulls, because a little while later, the game teaches me how to banish ink creatures instead of killing them. I just sneak up behind them and use my special glowy hand that I apparently have to send them back to the inky abyss. The game tries to sell this as the less violent option, but it definitely looks like they're dying, and they definitely scream like they're dying. The screaming. There's gonna be a story at some point in this game. Like, I've been walking around the studio for an hour now and learning all the new mechanics, which is nice, but nothing's really happening yet, and oh my god. It's him! It's Bendy, the littlest man! He's real! Yeah, I guess I never really thought about how we've only ever seen Bendy as the ink demon. We've never actually seen him as just his normal self. He looks so wholesome, but I accidentally give him this little static shock that makes him cry and run away. I guess the real ink demon was me. Well, anyway, Bendy runs away, I'm heartbroken beyond belief, and I just keep exploring. Eventually finding a door in the animation department that I can't go through until I find this ink dude his 5 missing drawings. But just as I start searching the place for these pictures, the ink demon himself finally decides to show up. Kind of funny how the ink demon didn't show up until after that little Bendy dude disappeared. That's probably just a coincidence. Just like the first game, the ink demon pops up seemingly at random, makes the whole screen go spooky, and you gotta hide fast or else... I got 8. So I'm running around, being stalked by a tall black and white monster and collecting a bunch of pages. Surprised no one's made a game like this until now. Anyway, I got all the pictures and brought them back to the guy, who then opens up the door and immediately starts beating me up. How ungrateful. He deserves to die. Oh, what's this? Oh, hello. I think you're missing a few things. Oh, well, now you're just missing. Okay. Okay, I think I might have just cursed myself. Is she just gonna keep popping up like, yes, she is, okay. More exploring, more bashing, more stealth, more scares. Oh, I can teleport now, that's fun. And finally, I reach an elevator to take me to the safer upper levels of the studio. Boy, it sure would suck if a villain suddenly came onto the intercom to override the elevator and send me crashing down. Oh no, this has never happened before. Man, this game really is recycling a lot of moments from the first one. I wonder what that's about. Ugh. Where am I? Ew. Spider. So here we have the game's first boss fight. And considering the boss fights were the absolute low points of the original Bendy, I gotta admit, I was pretty nervous about this. But honestly, it was alright. Run around, hit these things to make did something happen? I don't know, they were just shiny, so I hit them. And then bash this big spider until it stops moving forever. I'm sure these experiences won't leave any kind of lasting impact on my mental well-being.
I love blunt force trauma.
Well, I'm even deeper in the depths of the studio now, so much for the last few hours of progress, and there's no telling what's lurking down here. But to be honest, I feel like at this point the game's probably shown me most of its new stuff. I doubt there's gonna be any surprises left.
I believe there's something special in all of us. Especially you, Audrey.
Joey Drew? Okay, I did not see that coming. Okay, well, technically, it's not the real Joey Drew. He's still very much dead, and it is still very funny, but this is a copy of Joey Drew made from the ink. And he just starts lore dumping. According to Joey, this studio is basically a parallel universe that doesn't follow the normal rules of time. The whole place is on a loop, the same things happening over and over again. Hence the ending to the first game, and all the similar events we're seeing in this game. But with every new cycle, the whole thing's starting to deteriorate. And I guess it's up to me to try and break the cycle. Joey points me in the direction of these dangerous ink creatures called keepers who have been working to freeze the cycle themselves. He says I'll find my answers there. Well, you know, if they don't break all my bones first. Joey then Homer Simpsons through the wall and I'm alone again. But with a new objective, find the keepers. Yeah, I guess. And I mean, I've explored a ton of this studio by now. I'm sure there can't be that much more to see. Oh, you're kidding. You're kidding, right? You're telling me that inside this studio, is a city? Am I really looking at a city skyline inside a building? Jesus, man. Bendy really looked at the security breach pizza plugs and said, huh. Cute. Speaking of cute, look who's back!
It's the guy! It's the boy!
I apologize to Bendy for accidentally electrocuting him that one time, and we team up to explore this insane new city area.
Look at him! Bendy's my friend now! I love it! This is the best game!
Same story as always. There's a locked door, I gotta find a way in. But as I started looking around, people gotta stop doing that. Joey Drew pops back up and is like, hey, come to my house. And then...
Where am I?
Okay, we're back at the start of the first game. That's actually pretty cute. And I'm sure it would be filling me with all sorts of warm nostalgia had I not played the first game last month. But why am I here? Well, Joey Drew sits me down and, I'm not kidding here, shows me a PowerPoint presentation on the lore of Bendy and the Ink Machine. Dude, Matt and I were just joking in the FNAF recap. Someone actually did this? Well, here's how the story goes. Joey Drew, the real one, remember, he's dead, very funny, had lost pretty much everything after his studio had started to fail, so he became bitter and blamed it on Henry Stein, the former animator that we played as in the last game. When Henry left the studio, Joey decided to use the Ink Machine to create a new nightmare world that he controlled, even creating an ink version of Henry to toss into this ink world to torture him. You know, like a normal person. And all that is basically the setup for the original Bendy and the Ink Machine. We were playing as this ink creature version of Henry, being put through a never-ending cycle of torment created by Joey Drew himself. That also explains why the studio didn't go all sepia tone in this game until Audrey became an ink creature. But continuing with Joey's slideshow, the real Joey then met a woman named Allison Pendle who he became fast friends with, even hiring her to voice the character Alice Angel, replacing the previous actress Susie Campbell. You remember her? Yeah, you remember her. And Allison's positive influence on Joey's life even led him to create the Alice Angel who's been helping us out across these two games. I mean, maybe he could have just stopped torturing an innocent clone of his old friend and coworker with a never-ending nightmare cycle, but nah, just create another person to torture and toss them into the fray too. And a lot of that is just clarification on things we kinda already knew. The big shocker here is the reveal that Joey Drew created one more thing with the Ink Machine. A daughter named Audrey. So yeah, Audrey, the character I've been playing as this whole game, is and always has been a hyper-realistic ink creature. More advanced than Henry or Alice, some kind of hybrid, I think. And with that revelation out of the way, we flash back to the town I was at before, I grab a key and push forward, but Bendy's nowhere to be found. Yeah, not that Bendy. Wait. I knew it! I knew you were too cute to not be a secret demonic entity! Yes, this little Bendy guy has actually been the ink demon this entire time. And those crazy electronic towers somehow managed to incapacitate him, turning him back into regular old Bendy. They also deactivate my powers anytime I'm around them. These towers are also the work of the Gent Corporation with the help of the Keepers. Those guys Joey Drew told us about a little while ago? Yeah, these guys are scary. They talk like Doctor Who monsters.
The subject will stand in the designated location.
And they will kill on sight. So I gotta be super stealthy. Starting now. But while sneaking my way past the Keepers, I also managed to learn more about their experiments. Particularly that these are the guys who managed to, as they call it, sedate the Ink Demon, turning him into harmless little Bendy. But in the process, they basically tortured him. And I don't care if he's secretly a murderous demon who's killed me multiple times, he is also my friend, and I will protect him at all costs. Oh, who's this funny guy? Goodbye. I push forward a bit more and eventually find myself in a room full of like containment pods for the Keeper's various test subjects.
You must be really lost to be asking me for help.
Wait a minute. I know that voice. That's us. Like from the first game. That's Henry. I never actually got to see what he looked like in the first game. He looks sweaty. Henry tells us how to defeat the Ink Demon and reset the cycle. He's done it before. And of course, it all has to do with that reel of film labeled The End from the first game. The one we played that made Bendy go, "Ah!" Yeah, you know the one. So our end goal in this game is exactly the same as the first one then. I mean, I get we're doing this whole time loop cycle thing, but this is starting to feel more like a soft reboot than a sequel. Yeah, anyway, let's see what else is in here. Oh! Hi, Bertram. I see you left the carousel ride. You're looking good. Dead? Leaving now. Uh-oh! Okay, yes, I did get captured by one of the keepers, but it was a scripted thing. Instead of killing me this time, I just pass out, later waking up on... What is this, a train? Really, we're doing a train now? A train in the studio? Okay, sure, why not? And to make things worse, look who's back.
I'm watching you while you sleep. Audrey.
Good old creepy Wilson. He guides me through this crazy laboratory part of the studio that he runs with the help of the keepers, and he dishes on some more lore. Wilson here convinced the people of the studio that he killed the ink demon, which we know is obviously a lie. All they did was turn him into a marketable plushie. But he does seem to have a plan to break the cycle for good, with the secret weapon being me, though I'm not sure how or why yet. He also says he needs me to help him save his dad's life, little out of nowhere, and because it's Wilson, I don't believe a single thing he says. But I mean, I'm stuck in the studio, Alice is nowhere to be seen, my only friend is the thing trying to kill me. I don't really have much choice. Oh, and the keepers don't actually kill me when Wilson's around, so, and that's another reason to go along with all this. Wilson expositions at me for a while as he takes me to this surprisingly fancy living area. For real, all of a sudden I'm in a mansion. And once the dude's done lore dumping, he leaves me with Betty, his assistant, who shows me to my room. Guess there's nothing to do now but get a drink of water. Gross. And get some rest. Oh no! I hate it when twisted angel people magically appear in my bathroom and knock me out. It's the worst. So yeah, now Twisted Alice is back. That evil version of Alice Angel created from her original voice actor Susie Campbell, who made us do a bunch of random chores in the first game before getting stabbed by Good Alice. And just like last time, she wants to steal bits of Audrey to help make herself more beautiful and— Jesus Christ! They gave her a Tommy gun! Dang, Alice ain't messing around this time. Oh my god. I try to sneak up behind Alice and use that banishing move on her, since, she's just kinda standing there. But she catches me and is just about to kill me when... Yep, of course. Just like clockwork, Good Alice shows up at the last possible second and stabs Twisted Alice through the chest. Exactly like the first game. It even happens right at the end of Chapter 4, just like last time. Man, they're taking this cycle idea really seriously. But after several hours, I'm finally reunited with Alice. And she even brought Tom with her. They warn me about trusting Wilson, but do offer to help us break the cycle. And then I leave. The next, hour of the game is just a really long stealth section with a bunch of keepers, but once I'm through, I find my way back to Wilson's lab. Whoa, look at all this crazy multicolored rainbow ink. What's all this for? This is the first bit of color I've seen in hours. Holy crap. Oh, why is it so dark up ahead? Oh. Okay, it hadn't loaded yet, never mind. I finally reach the actual lab and find Wilson, and he's like,
It's time, Audrey. Please be sure you have completed any side quests and have saved your progress before entering the lab. And thank you for playing Bendy in the Dark Revival.
Which I think is the game's, super subtle way of letting me know that we're about to reach the final challenge. And after all this time, Wilson's true plan is finally revealed. It's an OC. No, seriously, Wilson wants to create a new ink demon to dethrone Bendy, one that he can control. And this is what he came up with. I'm sorry, I know the game is taking this just so seriously right now, but every time they cut back to this goofy little sailor guy, it just cracks me up. Come on, this is kind of funny. But the funny doesn't last long because Wilson finally drops the bomb. The secret weapon to creating this new ink demon is me. Dude wants to toss me into this meat grinder and turn me into his OC. Literally everything Wilson said about saving his dad and making things right was, of course, a lie. The truth is that his dad is actually Nathan Arch, the businessman who acquired Joey Drew Studios after Joey died. And all this junk Wilson's pulling is just born out of jealousy and resentment for his dad being negligent and too focused on work. Blah, 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 push. Well, that was easier than expected. So yeah, I pushed Wilson into the meat grinder, he gets turned into this new ink monster, and we've reached the final boss. It's me against a giant Wilson ink demon hybrid dressed as a sailor. It's perfect, I love it. And the fight itself is okay. Just like the first game, it's mostly about tricking the boss to destroy a bunch of stuff around them and using that to my advantage. You get Wilson to bash open the fuse boxes on these signal blockers, deactivate them, and then just avoid his attacks until it's safe to hit him. Do that about 3 times and you're golden. And you can tell, the game doesn't actually want you to fail this, because in between every phase, ink creatures pumped full of that rainbow ink attack you, and killing them actually gives you health back, which makes it even more embarrassing that this boss took me about 4 tries to get right. But oh, we are not done yet. With the towers deactivated, I get my powers back and banish Wilson, but the monster's still there. They grab me, no joke, rip off my legs, throw me to the ground, and are just about to take me out. But remember, the towers are off, which means the Ink Demon is totally free to barge in and absolutely wreck the monster. That's cool, but with them out of the way and me now minus 2 legs, it's just me and the Ink Demon with no way out. The demon consumes Audrey, assimilating her soul into his body. But Audrey's still there, she still has some level of control. And because clearly not enough is happening right now, Joey Drew shows up again to deliver one last inspirational speech to Audrey and give her the reel of film that can put a stop to this, before the Ink Demon just freaking snaps him like a twig. Jesus. Luckily, Audrey is able to overpower the Ink Demon and take control of his body, grabbing the film and getting ready to restart the cycle. And oh boy, get ready for this. For the final stretch of this game, we get to play as the Ink Demon. We're huge, super powerful, completely invincible, kinda clunky to control, and totally unstoppable. As the Ink Demon, I'm just plowing through room after room, tearing down walls, and bolting to wherever I need to go to play this film and reset the cycle. And along the way, everything just comes together. Tons of ink creatures swarm to attack me, but Alice and Tom show up to help clear my path. Alice pulls out the frickin' Tommy gun and just starts mowing people down, and Tom rides in on that big guy we saw earlier to help fight. Eventually, we even meet back up with Henry, who leads me to the projector, and wait, is that Sammy Lawrence? The crazy music director from the first game? Since when were you in this, dude? This is really cool. I love how full circle this all is. If only my actual gameplay didn't look like this. Whatever. I make it to the projector, start the film reel, Bendy goes, ah! And then... oh, good. I'm at work. Yes, the cycle rewinds all the way back to the beginning, with Audrey now at peace with who she is, working to make the cycle better for her friends. You know, the friend she saw for like 2 minutes. Oh, and Bendy's just here now. There he is. He's real. Not in the parallel world anymore. Just a living ink creature out and about in the real world. Sure, okay. Roll credits. And that is Bendy in the Dark Revival. Overall, a massive improvement on the first game. I think the original has a bit more charm, but other than that, this game is pretty much better in every way. It's actually really interesting. In a lot of ways, it's kind of like a soft reboot, but the story it tells wouldn't work anywhere near as well if the first game weren't still canon. And because of that whole cycle thing, the game is able to stand as both a sequel and a reboot kind of thing at the same time, and do both really well. This game left me genuinely excited to see what the future of Bendy is. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. Apparently this game has a secret ending. Let's check it out.
Well, the coffee's good and all, but this work's gotta get done. Focus, Audrey, focus.
I could have just done that the whole time?